Alright traders, weekly look ahead for 14th October 2019. Be a bit of a different video this week because I'm not particularly convicted on much out there at the moment. We had some bit of a change in mood last week. We saw a lot of weak dollar and risk on as well. Personally, I would probably stand aside and keep very light this week. It'll be very trade dependent on the news. We certainly saw a lot of dollar weakness as well if we look across on the risk side of things in terms of bond yields and then stocks as well, both sort of taking out previous highs for the week. Managed to close up fairly high on the back of some trade news, but it's from a macro perspective it was a pretty weak trade deal. I think the major move is still for dollar weakness and risk on. So I expect these yen pairs to continue making new highs and dollar to continue making new lows. So that's new highs in the Aussie, Euro, and Kiwi against the dollar. Early on this week, I'll probably do feel a bit of a counter trend move. I do think the dollar will come back strong, so I sort of expect these initial highs in the Aussie over here and Euro and Kiwi. And Swissy as well to hold early on this week. I think we got a bit of a pullback back down towards these similar levels across all these pairs Monday, Tuesday. It could be tradable, and then a bit of a stagnant move sort of Wednesday, Thursday. So it sort of slowly drifts back down, and then a reasonable sort of weak dollar and positive risk move towards into the Friday. So if you're feeling comfortable, you could try taking a sell on some of these risk pairs on stocks early on. Keep a stop above those highs. If they clear that, I'd definitely stand aside. But look to bank that solid as soon as you've sort of pulled back to a reasonable level. Probably that 6,600 in the ASX, and probably that S&P's probably doesn't really have the risk reward profile there to have a hunt. Euro yen's potentially worth a sell, particularly with this level here. We'll see a bit of rejection there, so you could go for an early week sell, stop above those highs and try and ride that back down to potentially, I'd probably only look for a move back to that maybe 119 or 118.85 level. Bank it there fully and then sit and see what transpires then, because I do expect this to then sort of come up, wave down and then continue making new highs. So we'll see what transpires. It's going to be very, very news dependent this week. There's not much on the actual calendar for us really. We've got some retail sales on Wednesday night for the US and some Aussie unemployment data on the Thursday, but not much else out besides that. We'll have to see how the market sort of digests this trade news. So yeah, stay light if you want to take some counter trend early this week and try selling these. Keep the stop up the high, try and ride that, but just bear in mind it will be a counter trend move. Bank it fully and then look to try and get position long in these pairs once they sort of find a bit of a floor, probably through there somewhere on the Euro yen and similar levels on the Aussie yen through there, and try and ride that Thursday, Friday. But it could react. It's very trade news dependent. So we'll see where we sit, and sorry I don't have too much more of convicted trades to take early this week. We just have to stay light and see what happens. Sometimes the best play is to stand aside and watch. Alright,